What is up, everyone? Back with another pair of Lowheat. Very interested to open these, and we'll see what they're like in hand. This is an interesting pair because definitely Lowheat, in consideration that these are currently available. You can get these from some retailers, but mainly I think in the larger sizes, which is kind of good, which is kind of opposite of normal. These if you look at secondary market platforms, these are actually under retail because they're sitting on shelves for retail. But in the smaller sizes, this size, the women's sizes, these are actually above retail, which is, again, doesn't always happen that way. More often than not, men go for the shoes, and the lower sizes sometimes are cheaper in basketball shoes. Kind of depends. But right away here, we have a different box than normal. You guys might already know this. Wait a second. Oh no, we have a USA 4 here. Wait, were these? Oh no. Oh no. I think we got the wrong size here. I think we got the wrong size. Doesn't say. Oh, that would be a bummer, because these are for the lady, and she's a size 5.5. 5.5. Were these in women's sizing? No, that's a men's size. I don't know what happened here. I'm gonna have to check really quick. All right, I think I know what happened. I think feature, where I won the draw for these, I think I entered in a 5.5, thinking it was listing in men's sizes, and in fact that was the women's sizing, and so it then gave me a women's and a half, 5.5, a men's 4. I wanted a men's 5.5, women's 7. So that's my bad. I have to break the bad news here in a minute to the lady, but let's go through and take a look at these while I got them in hand for you. That way I can get the unboxing out to you guys early. You can still see them in hand, assess them, etc. So as you see, the Nike box has this image on it. If you don't know, this is the Chicago Skyline, and it's pulled from an advertising promotion that for the Jordan 1 line of apparel and his shoes back in 1985. So, and actually the top is kind of matte finished, almost like paper, almost like a newspaper ad, which is kind of cool. Fits this ombre, old vintage ad look. So it's not, it doesn't have the sheen that the side paneling and the rest of the box does. It's a different box feel to it. So anyways, these retailed for $180, and as I said, all the smaller sizes are pretty much sold out. All the big sizes are available. So if you have larger feet, man, dude, or anyone else in between, go ahead, search online. You shouldn't have trouble finding a pair for retail. Any small footers out there, women, whoever, you look around, there might be an odd size here or there, but you're looking at resale, unfortunately. So this image here, as you can see, and we'll bring this back for reference, was on the hang tag for the original Air Jordan 1s and promotional materials. So this is a 1985 Air Jordan 1. This is the 85 cut natural gray, neutral gray Jordan 1, and they brought back the old hang tag. So the original 85 Jordan 1s back in 1985 came with this hang tag, and of course they did similar when they retroed these in true 85 fashion. And there you can see Jordan in his signature Jumpman pose with the black toe Jordan 1s in his Air Flight suit. And so there you go. There's the two images. I'll bring out the shoe. We'll take a look at the shoe, and then I'll tell you a little bit more backstory on this logo, or what this became the logo, and this. So let's bring out the shoes first, and then we'll give a little more history. Whew. These are pretty dope. Now, I was a little reserved on these to begin with, just because Nike and some other brands, but definitely Nike, has not tried to hide how much they've dipped it into, pun intended, the dip dyeing customization fad that's been happening. Fad's kind of a a loaded word, but dip dyeing in the customs realm of sneakers has been very popular the last few years, in part due to some customs made by Lorenz and other popular shoe customizers. And the whole ombre, sunset tones, sunrise tones, a lot of various changing of colors and mixing of color palettes has been very popular in the custom world and on Instagram and stuff. And Nike, you know, as companies do, they not forecast, but they just see what is trendy, and they borrow some of that without paying credit or bringing in those designers. And so this kind of made me bristle a little bit as these large companies have just kind of shamelessly followed what's popular and not involved those who made it popular in the process. So when I saw these at first, this is very similar to a lot of the work Lorenz has done and made popular, and Chef Hui Lei, and others out there too. I'm missing others. But so this is kind of in that vein of what they've made popular, but at least this can fly under the radar as using this as inspiration. I mean, they did this work in 1985, and the sunset, everyone likes sunsets. No one has a monopoly on sunsets, but it definitely looks like a lot of the work that's been popularized the last few years on Instagram and elsewhere. So at first I didn't really like that, but at least they can point to this. It's not just a blatant like, hey, check this cool colorway out we thought of, and this cool way of tonal color palette and ombre shoes, which they have done, that have no story behind it, and it's totally just kind of like ripping off what's popular. This at least can point to some history, some legacy in the brand itself, and so therefore I give this a little bit more of a pass. So these are cool. You can see how well it matches the sunset, the darker sky tones here to the horizon, the sun showing through in the horizon. Back to the story of this. So this photo shoot that they did to promote the Air Jordan 1 and the apparel was inspired from like a 1984 Olympics photo that was taken of Jordan. He was in the 1984 Olympics, and he was actually wearing a pair of New Balances, and it was on a studio set. It was kind of a more lower angle looking up at him, and I think Peter Moore and the Nike design team saw that photo, and they couldn't borrow it because he was wearing New Balances, and used that as reference for the creative direction in this campaign. And so they recreated that photo from the 1984 Olympics, recreated it in his new apparel, the Jordan 1, black toe Jordan 1s, which I don't think he wore that often. I don't know if he ever, I think he wore it a few times on court. And then his tracksuit, they recreated it, and everyone thinks he's going to dunk the ball. As you can see, there was a basketball hoop there, but really Jordan explained in a 1997 Hoops magazine interview that he was really just jumping up and doing a ballet move and holding the ball in his left hand. So the hoop was nearby, but he wasn't actually running towards it and going to dunk, and they didn't like capture this mid dunk. He was just jumping straight up in the air like this near the basket. So I thought that was interesting. Anyways, he said that in a 97 Hoops article. That's what I looked up, and that's what a blog article had quoted. So very interesting little tidbit. And then they use this as Tinker, I think, created the logo. Not Tinker, Peter Moore, the designer of the Jordan 1, used this photo as inspiration for the logo. And so then once Peter Moore moved on after the 1 and the 2 and whatever year it was, 1988, and Tinker kind of took over the designing of the Jordans, he was the one to bring the logo to the Jordan 3, the Jumpman logo to the tongue of the Jordan 3. So prior to that, it was just the Wings logo, as you can see on the Jordan 1 and Jordan 2. So there you go. There's your full history. If you didn't know, now you know. So you got back to the shoes. You got some tumbled leather on the mid panel, smooth leather on the toe box. Doesn't seem to come with a second set of laces. I would have liked to see some extra laces, some ombre two-tone laces. I think would have been sick. I don't mind the black on the sole and the swoosh kind of like speaks to the shadows at sunset and the silhouettes created by the sun at sunset. Oh, here's extra laces. What am I talking about? Oh, so you got some cream laces, extra cream laces. Those could work. But I would have liked to see some orange or purple or tonal lace. I think that would have been sweet. Again, these aren't quite for me. They definitely are a little bit more feminine, but that's, you know, it's 2023. I wear pink all the time, so I'm guessing why it's more popular in the smaller sizes, that's all. But I definitely would rock these. Just, again, with so many Jordan 1s that I have and that are coming out, this wasn't a pair that I went for. I could be interesting. What price point would I buy these at? Because these definitely, I think, are going to sit in the larger sizes and go on sale. These retail for $180. I just have so many shoes I don't need, and I'm getting the lucky green Jordan 1s. Check that video out, coming soon. The lady got exclusive access and copped them for me. I got those coming up. The wash pink are coming up, and I like those a lot. And I already have so many Jordan 1s. I feel like these would have to be pretty cheap for me to cop. I don't even know if these were sub 100 if I would spend the money, just because I don't have the space. Again, even $60 doesn't mean it's a bad shoe, just means I don't need something that I don't love. So yeah, maybe I think I would give these like a 6. The silhouette's fire, but there's no leather. This is the big difference too. This isn't leather. The heel panel, the toe box, this is all this kind of canvas. It takes on the dye easier, so it's a little probably cheaper for them to take on the dye. If they dyed leather, it'd be probably more expensive. I don't love the canvas. I think I would like this better if this was all leather. The swoosh is also black canvas. So that's one thing. But yeah, overall, I like the shoe, and I definitely, it's weird how this was a unisex release, and they do all these other cool colorways that are like women's releases. To me, this would have been a no-brainer as a women's release, and give us some of those ones that are dubbed women's releases. So a little confused by that, but this is an iconic moment, and it's not, you know, gender specific. So I understand that too. All right, so broke the news to the lady, and what we're gonna do is, fortunately, these are going for a little above retail, and so I should be able to sell these and make most, if not all, my money back, or close to it. And then we're just gonna bite the bullet and buy her size in resale, because she showed them to her and she really likes these. So keep our eyes out on those prices, those aftermarket prices. Try to get a 5.5 men's, 7 women's, and see what we can do there. But as I said, I like these. Don't love them though. I give them a 6 out of 10, which is pretty low for my channel if you look at all my videos. But then again, I'm buying shoes that I want, so of course they're going to be 7s, 8s, 9s, and closer to 10s for most of my ratings. So it's kind of actually odd. It's weirdly enough, it's kind of nice to review a shoe that I don't like love, because I feel like all my ratings are, you know, high ratings, as they should be. They make sense. I'm not being gifted shoes that I don't really like, so we're not there yet. So in that case, please like, subscribe, follow, etc., comment, do all the things. It's free, and I would appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think about this Skyline shoe, the canvas materials, paying tribute to this promotional campaign back in 1985. Do you think this is kind of like unjustly ripping off some of those sneaker customizers, or no, this one gets a pass because it is an homage to this ad campaign? I think you heard my thoughts on it. I won't speak on it again, but yeah, cool shoe, and I think because it points to something in history, I think it's acceptable. This product from Nike and Jordan Brand is acceptable, where some of their other just GRs that are blatant kind of rip-offs of other people's ideas, not as cool with.